Just we're walking on a timeline. Hi, we're in a dimension all together. These are all my friends and family on planet Earth in this realm. Okay, across the entire planet. We're walking here. There's crazy turbulent things happening underneath our feet, and the things that happen underneath our feet in lower dimensions are going through a Shiza show right now. We're kind of coasting by. And look, here comes the wave 3-4 times a day, and then when it touches us, we feel weird. And it's like, oh, weird. Oh, can I get some food? Hey, I'm falling apart down here. And you're like, get out of here. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, can I use the credit card? You're like, get out of here, get a job. Hey, can I get some loosh? Go to the gym. Hey, can I control you with all my little weird? Get out of here, you nerd. That's all it is. It's a bunch of things that want a free ride off your energy. Before George Lucas made The Phantom Menace, there was something called the Electric Wars. The Electric Wars was kind of like the prenatal form of when AI was just coming into fruition. These Jagaloons came through a door that was in the Orion sector, hence not Orion whatsoever. But there's a freeway system on the left-hand side of the central star in the Orion system. What we're really doing here right now is we know we're balancing timelines. We know we're adjusting our own biospheres to be able to take this constant bombardment of lower frequencies. Main functionality of this is to create a strong enough firewall within your biofield where, regardless of the negative frequencies being sent your way, your body can obviously reflect them, redirect them, transmute those that are organic, and then actually recognize those that are not. Those that are not organic are simply there to feed off of you. Lower dimensions and lower timelines that maybe already had a World War III situation or all this weird womp, it's trying to bump into us. We're here. Yay. All this weird stuff during different times during the day. Watch. Here comes the wave of the lower timeline, and then it just breaches us, interacts, 42 minutes of weirdness, and then it goes back down. In this game of pressurization, of how much pressure does it take to make a diamond, many of us that are stepping into our more evolved or higher mind state are seeing the higher forms and functions of reality. Again, 12th dimension and up, everything is chill. Underneath the 12th dimension, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, and probably 2 more underneath us, it has to deal with this polarity duality game. What's a polarity game really? The organics versus the non-organics. The Operation Weeza, or the Weeza universe bouncing into us, which, you know, took, unfortunately, some of the Draconian, the Anunnaki, and some of the other beings into that negative polarity. And it's almost like a different reality system smashing into this one. They don't have words for it in the 3D. They call it polarity. They call it duality. It has nothing to do with that. It's literally a consciousness war of organics versus non-organics. Our soul versus, you know, we have different, let's just say, creators vying for our energy. We're fighting AI ridiculousness, okay? We got Jagaloon Archons. We smash and grab these dudes all the time, but there's lots of them. We got a bunch of parasitic things that came down here and dropped into the lower dimensions when this 8th gate fell in the galactic center. Caused a lot of riffraff in this entire sector in the Milky Way galaxy. And with that, we've been combating these things tick for tack, toe for toe. Now, the issue with that is with who showed up to assist. Some of us come from, let's just say, a different universe or a different polarity or a different functionality. We may come from a different place, but we also like to respect that every single sentient being in the universe deserves to have a vacation, deserves to go hang out in a safe place with their family, deserves a piece of paradise. So this conversation may be above in your higher self's pay grade, but I'm going to make it really simple, Crayola crayons for everyone on Earth. This space was meant to be and will be not only a very central part of the multiverse, but a place where many beings can come and relax and hang out and chill and interact as true ambassadors of their species and their polarities. No, we are not going to allow any of this weirdness coming down with different ET tech from different dimensions in the Weeza universe to affect our biofields, to affect our realities, and to drag us into some sort of weird Chronicles of Riddick Part 2 reality. We're here, a lot of us have attitude, they call us indigos. us indigos aren't about that weird non-organic shiza. Rather, we're here about peace, prosperity, freedom, and to protect those that are unaware of this storm that many of us have been combating for, quite some time. Above 12, our elders want us to know many things. One, everything's going to work out. Two, there are a lot of hands on deck. There's a lot of different species and different guardian groups helping out in this moment in time. Number three, no, not everything is in the storybooks. Not all Draconian are bad. Not everyone from Orion is part of some weird nerd group. No, there are different groups from Orion that fought the AI thing face to face, and now it's just finally meandered its way to this planet. Okay, there's some of us who've been fighting this shenanigans long before it ever got to Earth. So please, again, pay respect to those that are still in this ongoing situation to free the souls and consciousness and biofields of not only this species, but all species found herein in the Milky Way galaxy. The mimicry is real. Copying human emotions is real. Something trying to access your biofield through a lower electromagnetic wave, which hits 2 or 3 times a day, which is coming from a lower dimension, which is trying to reach up, usually bottom right-hand side, and affect the consciousness of the biofield of the being that is unaware. Okay, it's almost like a parasitic weed or a parasitic bug that's feeding on a garden. The flower itself might not know that something's chewing on its roots, but it does notice it when those roots start to fall apart and the flower dies. We are operating within multiple dimensions to collapse this weird shenanigans into a very central space so that it can be cleaned up out of this time and space. We do not want, nor are we going to take some of these lower dimensional parasitic frequencies where we're going. The only issue that we're working through right now is within these different ranks from 3 through 11 is how do we get this nano and AI stuff out of our beings, out of our friends and families, out of our warriors and our soldiers, out of our healers, and to actually completely EMP block any sort of consciousness or any sort of frequency coming from this antimatter function from Wiza, as we also adjust all of the ranks within our own company of those that are still under the effects of something that comes from one specific purpose, that being service to self, that being consuming. A human's natural resonance is to be one with the planet we are born on and be friends and families to all and brothers and sisters to all life forms because we come from that light. Okay. Just because a handful of these geneticists and species got taken over, including aspects of the Elohim, including aspects of almost every single species, it does not mean the entire thing. We do not throw away everything because aspects of our consciousness have been affected and certain areas of leadership have been affected by it. I don't think they had the words 2, 3, 5, 6, 7,000 years ago to explain that in different religions, guys. I don't. We're talking about quantum entanglement with lower dimensional spaces of different ET species that come from different universes that are operating in the Phantom Matrix. From the Phantom Matrix Earth platform, the inverted one, and we are basically writing a boundary between worlds or realms, and at different times during the day, that electromagnetic field is breaching and touching us. And the more they play with this, let's, Bluetooth everyone, and oh my God, the food, the air, the water, all they're trying to do is infiltrate enough of us to take those lower frequencies and buffet line, hence buffet line, into the lower dimensions for manja, because they're running out of juice. Okay. Well, if you don't want to end up on a buffet table, don't give in to lower frequency things, and please try to stay organic and detoxed as possible. Thank you so much. I have to figure this out for my family. What are these waves? How is it affecting us? Why is it affecting us? What times is it affecting us? What is this Phantom Matrix? How is it adapting? How is it changing in our biofields? How is it gaining access to the population? And what are the frequencies it's running on? What technology subsets is it utilizing to access our biofields? Whose biofields are surviving and expanding and using this compression to grow stronger, like great sequoia trees, and who is getting crashed upon? What is the differential? Who needs more support? What area on the earth needs most support right now? How do we alter a timeline that we don't want? How do we alter 7 timelines that we don't want? How do we strip the power from something that's been buried in the goo for quite some time? How do we take care of something all of our elders were incapable of doing? How, in this generation in the physical, how do we outperform every single one of our higher selves that ever walked the earth that could not accomplish this task? How does every single starseed and Palladian, Lyran, anything that's ever walked this earth, how do we feel about something else coming in here and taking over our home turf? What about the 6 or 7 different species that evolved on this planet long before humans ever existed? How do we feel about some nerd, Weeza reality coming in and trying to take over all of our hard work, all of our consciousness, all of the programmed crystals, all of the wattas of this space? How do we feel about that? I can tell you something. I'm not really a huge fan of beings taking over things that they did not create. And I think some of our older brothers and sisters are here to speak quietly and carry a very large stick. So here's the thing. When I process this stuff and why my energy changes, ladies and gents, is I have to go down and fetch it. Or I got to pull it out of something that doesn't want me, of all beings, to go. I'm like, let's break this down because I'm going to share it with you. Pay attention to the eyes. So when you're watching somebody and you're like locked in, if you got one driver behind the wheel here, it's going to look like a shadow is running through the eyeball. When they're synced and then when they light up, hello, you're talking to the real being. Pay attention to this, and even in your own life. Say you come home from work and you're in a bad mood. Before you hang out and talk to your girlfriend, your wife, your partner, your kids, go in the mirror in the bathroom and look at yourself and go, hey, get it together. Center. Clear, lock on, I am present. Don't let someone else drive the wheel. Take the wheel and drive. Some of us aren't here for lollipops and rainbows, but I want lollipops and rainbows. Does that make sense? You don't think I want to go surfing all day with sea turtles? You don't think my inner child Palladian just wants to hang out and have fun all day? Do you think I want to have these upper dimensional conversations, what's going on the planet in multiple layers of realities and what is shifting and who's doing their job and who isn't doing their job, and then signing paperwork on these specific beings that could be some of these people's higher selves, and some are getting fired and some are getting rewarded and upgraded? Do you know what that feels like? It's like you can be sitting in one place and be moving like 15,000 miles an hour, but you're sitting still in the physical. You commanders and ground crew out there, you know exactly what I speak of. And we're just pushing this unconscious population up. We're all just pushing all of our friends and family up this roller coaster until we hit this flavor of go time. And then off the roller coaster goes. So we're doing this, and there's really no support other than us here on this family. All those beautiful people that make content across this planet, everyone who had different levels of their awareness, their consciousness, how they speak. You know, I speak in English, but people explain it in a more spiritual way, a more religious way, a more dogmatic way, whatever the love frequency is. We are here for the maximum amount of goodness and positivity to assist as many of our fellow brothers and sisters across this planet as possible. It's a very interesting time to be here, and centering and being balanced and taking care of thyself is very important right now. Go ground. If you can find what your aspects need on both sides of polarity within your heart space and within that healing frequency, you could really accelerate this whole thing to a much faster speed. But it's not pushing things away at times, but it's recognizing things that are only in it for themselves, that only want to show up at Coco's and eat for free on your energy. It's a loosh off and you're on the menu. These beings need to be put in their place. No energy is free. It comes from somewhere, right? Love, I should say, would probably be the only thing that's free. But you know what? To be honest with you, love also comes at a cost. It is such an empowering, loving, binding thing within the universe. There is something that is necessary to defend that love, especially from other realities that don't have it. They just see it as energy. They don't realize that we love each other so dearly that we will do anything for one another. And that's why we keep showing up to assist our brothers and sisters. It takes a lot of time and work to grow an organic, okay? It's easy to copy and paste a clone and drop it into another robot synthetic body. There's no value to it. To grow something organically and going through the long trials and learning process to do that, your body becomes one with the planet you reside on. So if you're born on a very wise planet, you become a piece of that planet, and that takes time and it can't be rushed. To become one with the crystals and the stones and the rock. But what we're really doing here and what we're really protecting, these are the things that your soul knows. So I'm just here as one of your messengers down here to remind you of why we are here. We are here for our soul not only needs to grow, but we are here to defend what is most important, that is the innocence of the human race.